Thanks for listening to the BlockNation Podcast, the realest podcast in all of crypto. I'm your host, Drew Griffin. In this episode, I'm actually a guest on another podcast called Cigars and Crypto. And I joined the host and we discuss cryptos, Bitcoin, and really I give my explanation and analysis of the BAT token. Cigars and Crypto is a really great show. I hope you really enjoy these conversations. It's one of the most interesting and most fun conversations I've had with a fellow crypto enthusiast. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. If you enjoy the show and like to help out, share this with your friends and family. You can also leave me a Bitcoin or Ethereum tip, and I'll take that money and put it directly back into the show. Please leave me your comments and feedback. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for listening.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Invest Noir. Thank you so much for joining Cigars and Crypto. I am speaking with Drew Griffin, the man, the myth, the legend, Drew Griffin.
Folks, thanks for having me on, man.
No problem, man. Thanks so much for taking my invite. I greatly appreciate it.
Anytime.
I found you on Twitter based on a comment that you had made about basic attention token.
Oh, yeah.
And I am a person who I don't believe in diametric opposites. I believe that there's a middle, and I also believe that I can be wrong. And so I like to listen to people who think differently than I do. That way I get a chance to learn. So that's kind of where this came from. But I want to start off with some basic questions. Drew, how did you get into crypto?
Man, so it was probably about going on 3 years now. And, I've been investing in the stock market, bond market for probably a decade now. And what really drew me into crypto is I had a buddy just kept nudging me to buy Bitcoin. And, at first I thought it was just, magic internet money and then they go, it kind of, everyone I talk to about crypto, it's really the same route. When you first hear about it, you're just like, it sounds like a bunch of nonsense. So you kind of push it off, then you kind of just keep seeing it. And really what changed me is when I read the white paper. And so I read the Bitcoin white paper, and, I've always been someone that I want, I don't want to have no government, but I want to have, less government, because I think a lot of our tax dollars are wasted on stuff. So, it was really an easy fit reading Bitcoin and seeing something that's, decentralized, sound money that can't be inflated. So that's really what, sparked me into it. And then a little bit after I get into Bitcoin, we have the ICO craze and just, the whole market gets overvaluated. And then that's when I really started just, diving into cryptos, because I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I think there's a lot of valuable technology in the cryptos out there. And so, I just dove down that rabbit hole, and I've been there ever since.
That's cool, man. That's kind of how I got into the space. I actually got in because I was looking for an investment opportunity at the time. I didn't know what I was looking for was Bitcoin. I was living in San Diego, and there was a guy who lived in an apartment on the third floor across from me. And of course, this guy was like a heavy pothead. And so I kind of really ignored him. He was really nice to me, but I kind of really ignored him, But then, like, over the period of like 2 weeks, I watched this guy put a solar panel out on his patio and connected to 6 car batteries, and had these fans and had this like solar powered Bitcoin mining rig. At the time, it was an Antminer S1. It tells you how, when I got into it in 2014. And so as a techie, I was just amazed that this guy had the knowledge and the attention span to do that. So I walked across one day and sat down, had a chat with him, and said, bro, what is this? And what are you doing? He was like, yeah, man, I'm mining Bitcoin. And I was like, what the fuck is that? So he started talking to me about it. And as I'm listening to him, in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I can mine Bitcoin too. I didn't think it was going to be worth much at the time, which is why I kind of kick myself regularly. I'm not one of those guys who accumulated Bitcoin because I wanted to be rich. I just thought it was cool that I could let this machine run in my house and I could do stuff with it. So the majority of my Bitcoin I spent actually on Expedia, Cheap Air, and what's the other site I was buying furniture from? I can't remember offhand. Of course, it'll hit me. They did Tezos.
So was this Bitcoin you were mining that you were spending? Okay.
Yeah. And it was Bitcoin that I was mining. And this company, there's an online company that sells merchandise. They're like one of the first. And you could buy with Bitcoin. So I was doing stuff like buying sheets and pillows and socks and shoes, and furniture. I bought a couch. I bought multiple flights from San Diego back to the East Coast at the time, because I didn't really think it was going to be much. You know, no one was really using it except for these sites, these few sites where you can go and spend it. And so I thought, hey, you know, this is kind of cool. So here we are, 10 Bitcoin and 6 years later. And no, not 6, 5 years later. And I'm kicking myself in the nuts because I had mined 10 Bitcoin. And I really wish I'd have held them, man.
Hey, hindsight's everything, right?
Yeah, man, it is, bro. It is. But you know what? My opinion about it hasn't changed. I don't accumulate Bitcoin for wealth. I accumulate Bitcoin to spend it. I believe it to be people's currency. I'm not trying to usurp authority or power from anyone. Like Senator Sherman said, you know, Bitcoin is used to, you know, usurp American power and control. That's not why I use it. I just don't want to pay $2.75 plus a 30% processing fee when I go to use PayPal, or if I have to swipe a credit card. If I want to transact with you, I want to transact with you in the same fungibility that I can with money. And so that's kind of like my backstory on Bitcoin. So it's kind of interesting how people come into the space, because everyone has their own way that they get in. But ultimately, once they're in, they fall deep into the rabbit hole. And most of them have no desire to climb out.
That's no lie, because I think once you realize, you know, the value behind Bitcoin, it opens your eyes to something totally different. And you're totally right. Yet Bitcoin's capture rate is probably like 99.9%. Only a few people probably get out. And most of that's probably because they lost money from just, you know, a bad investment or, you know, bad timing in the market.
Right. So true. Even today, man, right now, the only reason I am like trading is because I promised my wife that I was going to take her to Fiji. Bro, I shit you not. I promised her I was going to take her to Fiji. We travel a lot. I leave the country 2 or 3 times a year, but I promised her I was going to take her to Fiji. And so my goal right now is to trade enough to be able to go on Expedia and buy one of the packages with the flight and the hotel. And then the rest of the money will just be fiat that I spend while I'm there.
Hey, that's motivation, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you
keep the goal in sight.
Exactly. You can't take it with you, man. You know, so you might as well enjoy it while you can.
What do you trade mostly? You just trade Bitcoin, or you dip into the alts?
Actually, I am a shitcoin trader. I'm a shitcoin trader, and I trade shitcoins to accumulate Bitcoin.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Have you do it?
Yeah, man. You know, I trade shitcoins to accumulate Bitcoin. But with that said, full disclosure, I am also a devout nano hodler. So I also hold Nano.
Okay.
I got into Nano maybe a year ago because of what they were doing in Venezuela. And if that is not like the perfect use case for a sovereign, non-governmental currency, I can't think of one.
Oh, that's right, man. I really feel bad for people in Venezuela, what their government's done to their currency.
Yes, man. It is ridiculous.
And then just, you know, blocking all the aid and countries trying to, you know, donate medical supplies and food, and just kind of blocking that from entering the country. That was a shame.
It's crazy, right? Now, imagine a borderless currency that you can leave Venezuela and go into Colombia to buy food, medical supplies, clothes. I'm not talking about TV. Notice I didn't say anything about TVs or cars or Lambos or any other bullshit. But
just you need,
necessities to survive. You know, Nano and Dash are really making inroads in Venezuela. Bitcoin obviously is the granddaddy of them all, is making real inroads in Venezuela. But what I've gathered from my readings and some folks that I've traveled with, I understand that Bitcoin is accumulated, but Nano and Dash are spent. And I think that's because of the block times for Bitcoin transactions. A lot of online businesses or like local businesses, mom and pop shops, they want those three verifications before they accept it. Well, in a situation where your money is deflating thousands of dollars a day, you can't wait 30 minutes. Whereas Nano and Dash was specifically Nano, was like almost instantaneous transaction time. And you can buy bread, buy butter, buy chickens, livestock, with cryptocurrency. And I thought that was like the perfect use case. So that's why I am a nano hodler. So that's kind of like full disclosure for me. So,
yeah, I think it's going to be a nice little battle. Who wins out the currencies of crypto? Because there's a lot out there. I think Bitcoin, you want to use it as a store of value,
right?
And like stuff like you're talking about, Nano, that's more of a currency that you can, process transactions with quickly. So you're not, as a store owner, you're not pissing off the customer by making them hold up for 30 minutes, like you said, to validate a transaction.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of my thing with maximalists. They kind of look at me like, how could you be, how could you hodl anything other than Bitcoin? I think there's room and there's space for multiple currencies. There's room and space for multiple tokens, because not every token is a currency and not every currency is a token. Like I take VeChain for example. You can track packages, shipments with VeChain. That you can do with Bitcoin. You can do that with Bitcoin, but why? Why not segregate it and use it for just that?
Oh, I agree with you. I think with a lot of the maximalists, to me, because I think there's a difference between money and currency. I think those are two separate things.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think Bitcoin's money. I think it's good, sound money that can't be inflated by anybody. And I think every other crypto is a currency, much like the euro, US dollar, whatever that may be.
Preach.
So like I said before, I would prefer to store Bitcoin. And if I got to make a transaction, I'd prefer, a different crypto, maybe Litecoin, Stellar. I mean, I can even see people using Ripple, if you want to go that route with Ripple, but that's my philosophy on crypto. So I understand the maximalists, but to say everything else is worthless, I can't agree with that, because I think there's a lot of coins out there that have valuable technology. Now, most of them may be worthless, but I mean, we are like 2,100 coins on CoinMarketCap, so they can't all be winners.
And I'm hodling about 50 of those worthless coins that are garbage right now. Oh, man, let me give you my Rec story. Oh, wait a minute. First off, shout out to Rec Podcast. I listen to them regularly. I love those guys. If you want some epic Rec failed stories, you got to listen to Rec Podcast. My Rec story for the day, well, for lifetime, bro. So I had accumulated a nice amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum. I was buying Ethereum at like $30, okay? And so I'm buying, and everything's all good. And then the ICO phase kicks in. And so I'm like, yo, I can 5X, 10X, going in on some of these ICOs. And, I'll set up my little VPN and, set up, and all this other crap. Bro, man, look, I think I did the calculation, right, at the top, based on the number at the top, which I think at the time was like 19,000, 19,1, something like that. I lost almost $200,000.
Damn.
Buying in on ICOs.
So you're spending your Ethereum on it?
I was spending ETH and Bitcoin.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Expecting to go 5X, 10X. And I have no one to blame but myself.
Now, at some point, you probably were 5X, 10X up.
You know what? I was at some point.
On your ICOs, yeah.
Greedy.
Oh, man, I feel you. I've gotten burned on some coins too, man. But, hey, you learn from it. It's a expensive learning moment.
Yeah, it really is, man. I learned a valuable lesson. But you know what? I think the best lesson that I learned, is those who want to get rich quick are usually the ones that are going to make me wealthy. And I say that because the get rich quick guy or gal is the one that's willing to hold forever. And when their shitcoin dumps, when their token dumps, I'm dumping on them because they're continuing to buy all the way down, thinking that it's going to rebound and come back up. You know, I follow some really good, really smart guys and gals on Twitter. I've learned some valuable lessons. Like right now, my risk threshold is 4%. If my entry point goes below 3%,
yeah,
I sell. I don't wait for something new to happen. I don't wait for a black swan event that will double or triple my investment. I don't.
Just close out that position, huh?
Right. I close that position. Yeah. I close my profit positions between 3 to 7%.
Well, how's that strategy been working for you?
I'm up.
Well,
I'm not up a lot. I'm not up a lot because, you know, like I said, I'm fearful of losing money. But one of the other things that I learned from the ICO craze is do your own fucking research and learn how to fucking trade and read chart. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the truth, man. I mean, you nailed it on the head with that one.
Yeah. Anyone can give you fundamentals that sound good to you, that hit your pressure points and make you say, I'm going to hold this forever.
But, and it's tough, okay? Because when something goes up 2x, 3x, 4, plus, in your mind, you can't wrap your head around the fact that it may go back down. You start seeing that green and your money just duplicate. And you're just, it's hard to get out of that position. Yeah. And then that FOMO kicks in. Okay, it went up 5x. What if it goes up 20x? And you know what I'm saying? So but I think that stuff you got to learn. Some stuff I had to learn, because I had a lot of positions I could have got out 10x up, then it went back down, 5x, and I'm sitting here like, crap, I better sell it. Some I let go back to where I started losing money when I should just got out, when I was ahead. But yeah, it's tough. You got to learn those lessons early on.
Yeah, yeah. I've learned some valuable lessons on this road, man. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for anything.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
I am happy with my journey here. This wrecked story that I just gave you is the reason why I am now starting to dabble in the stock market. I want to get into options, primarily because A, I know how to do my own research, and B, I understand charts and how historical values can shape where you believe and where your stock or bond may go. So I'm pretty confident over the next couple of years that that'll be where I go. So I've already started down that path. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I probably invested in the stock market for, like I said, going on 10 years now, and I've traded some options before. Great way to make some money. But most of my trades are really long-term based at the end of the day. In my retirement account, I really like investing in bonds and bond ETFs. I really like getting paid a dividend every single month, especially the REITs.
Yeah.
Getting that check every single month towards my retirement and just reinvesting in it. It's hard for me to pass that up. And there's a lot of really good investors in the stock market that kind of find that philosophy of just finding dividend stocks. But the market I've really been into for the past 3 years, and it's made me a significant amount of money, is the cannabis market, because those stocks have just been going through the roof.
Really?
In the United States, every time a state legalizes medical marijuana, my stocks basically double in value. I mean, they go up about 100% every single time. So taking some hits lately because of the trade tariffs going on between the U.S. and China.
Right.
Still up a bunch as I started getting in them.
I might have to get into that, man. I have really tried to stay away from that.
Yeah.
As an IT professional, I kind of try to really segregate myself from that kind of thing. Because I I do is watched. So
yeah, I mean, to me, like, you got to separate yourself from the market and the industry, because I get what people saying, it can kind of look immoral or, not right to invest in these companies, but these are legal companies inside the United States, inside Canada. My perspective, I'm just trying to make money off the investment. I mean, that's the reason I do it. If it was the biomedical industry and I felt the same way about that market, I would, buy those stocks. So it's not so much what the industry is doing as much as it is, I just want to make money off of it.
Yeah.
Because of the events and the laws taking place in this country.
Yeah. It sounds good, man. I got 4 kids, so I need all the money I can get. Shit. Yeah, man. So look, let me ask you a question. I want to learn about, hold on, fire truck. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I want to learn more about your feelings about basic attention token.
Yeah. So with BAT, and I think it's very important for me to kind of separate my mindset on this, is I'm not discounting Brave at all. I think Brave is actually a wonderful thing, especially the fact that it's going to allow people privacy on the internet. But I think where people get confused is they think Brave and BAT are the same thing. And I think, you got to separate those two out, because Brave's a company.
Agreed.
And BAT is a token that's involved in this company, but Brave could be successful and BAT could come out worthless. Okay. But the opposite, if Brave isn't successful, BAT's guaranteed to be worthless. So I kind of want to separate those things, because especially on Twitter, when I talk about this, people come at me like, how could you discount Brave? And I'm sitting there saying, I'm not discounting Brave. I'm just saying BAT as a long-term investment, I think you're better off putting your money in other places. I think, if you believe in the project and you want to donate money to it, that's one thing. But to receive a return on your investment, I think there's a lot of better coins you could be putting your money in other than BAT.
Okay.
But kind of my philosophy on it is, I don't like investing in stuff that people can get for free. And one of the arguments to that is people say, well, you got to watch ads that actually get paid out in BAT. Okay, well, if you look at the ads, most are 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And so you're not really putting in much work or energy into the system. So, although there's a little bit of value in your time, it's just not very much. So there's not any money going in from one standpoint. And then as an investor, you're putting in, your money to receive a token that other people can just get for pretty much doing nothing. And so, that's kind of my thought process on that. And there's some other points that I'm really, don't like about the BAT token. I'm kind of trying to see how this concept's going to work of advertisers, because they're really, the advertisers paying for the ads are paying the people to receive BAT. And so as an advertiser, I don't know how much my incentive is to use this platform if most of my money, isn't going to people engagement, but it's just going to pay for the token so people can have. And then
I see what you mean.
And then what happens as an advertiser? Okay, if the price of BAT, significantly decreases, let's say it drops 20% after I paid for that ad. Well, I just lost 20% of my, advertisement value just because of a market cycle. So, that's just another thing that I kind of stay away from when it comes to the BAT token.
Okay. I get you. Now, I went out earlier today, being the extreme nerd that I am, and CoinBase offers $10 in BAT tokens for learning about BAT. And I took all the 4 little videos that they showed, and what I understand is that Brave is charging a set amount for the advertisement.
Okay.
And then they are paying us pennies to watch the advertisement. And then if we like the advertisement, we can tip the content producer who created the advertisement, or we can go to the website and make a purchase. So I think that as a token is a vehicle to incentivize people to watch the ads.
Yeah.
So that when BAT goes back to the advertiser, they have actual statistical, quantifiable metrics to shows this is how many people watched your ad. We paid them X amount. Do you want to advertise with us again? But with that said, I see your point.
You know what? Like I said before, I don't think the system doesn't work. I just think that as an investment, I don't want to give my dollars as something other people get for free. But the big question I have with BAT is, okay, so as an advertiser and someone watching that ad, you know, the only incentive to me to watch this ad is I'm going to get paid for it.
Right.
And I think that's kind of a bad place as an incentive. I think as an advertiser, I want the number one incentive to be what's being played on my ad. I want to engage viewers because they're interested in what's playing on the ad, not because they could receive a few cents. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of it's a problem with the the incentive towards the advertisers is, are they really interested in your ad, or are they just interested in getting paid?
Agree. And that I understand. I understand that part. But I look at it this way. Let me separate these two things.
Okay.
The investment piece from the advertiser piece. As an investment, I understand your point about the BAT token and its value proposition. I get that part. But as an advertiser, I would much rather be on a platform that has people opt in to receiving ads, as opposed to not being on that platform and people using Chrome extensions to block ads and then them never seeing my ad. And I have no idea truly how many impressions that I'm getting based on the number of ads and people who are viewing them on the websites. You see what I mean? At least
I get what you're saying on that.
Advertiser knows exactly how many people have viewed this ad, how many times they viewed it, how many people have clicked on it, and they know that they're incentivized to do it.
I think, one argument against that is, I think because Facebook and Instagram and Twitter are so good at collecting data that they know based off your data what you're going to be interested in. So they can really offer that to the advertiser that, people who have these interests usually like, whatever, you're promoting. So that's one benefit advertisers have on those platforms, is the fact that they've collected so much data. If I go to run a Facebook ad, I can narrow down my target market. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I think Brave is going to struggle with. Okay, how do you offer that to the people paying you money to run your company when they could go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, these platforms that have, so much success running ads, and you can narrow down your audience to so many different data points. And so it's going to be interesting to see if Brave can compete with that.
Yeah, and I see your point with that, and I agree with you there. It's definitely going to be difficult. But one of the reasons why I think Brave is going to be able to do it is because of how quickly they have moved into, and I'm speaking specifically about Brave and not BAT.
Yeah.
How quickly they have moved into a position where they are now really competing with a Chrome or a Firefox or IE.
Yeah.
In a Safari. They are like they are a real alternative to those. Let me take that back because I'm going to edit that out. They are a real alternative to the big four in terms of browsers. I think of Brave before I think of Opera or Dolphin or any of these other open source free browsers that you can use to browse the internet. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Ton of people on the Play Store for Google and the Apple App Store, whatever that is, and they download it and people use it. But I hate the fact that I learned something new and that I'm able to see your side of this argument, because it really sucks, because now I'm like I'm on the fence, bro. I don't like being on the fence, man.
Well, it's like I said, Brave's a good thing. I'm all for protecting my data, but the BAT token as an investment, I'd rather buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, there's a handful of the cryptos. I'd rather put my money, for the long term.
Agree.
And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. And crypto's so weird because people get so emotionally attached to the currencies. And
yes, man.
One thing I think I can, I'm proud of the fact that I can remove my emotion from investing. And because I look at it as, I want to make money from it. And that sounds greedy to a lot of people. But when I put my hard-earned money into it, I expect a return on my investment.
Okay? Damn right.
There's other ways to support, crypto.
Right.
I mean, you have a crypto podcast. I do a crypto podcast. We're promoting adoption through it. So this idea that buying into an investment just because you're backing it, I view that as a donation. If you don't think you're going to get money from it, to me, it's a donation. Nothing wrong with donations, but don't confuse it with being an investment like so many crypto investors do. And it's just how investing goes with some people.
Right. That's true, my friend. Very true.
Time will tell. I could be wrong. A year later, everyone may be coming back at me. You idiot! What are you talking about? You dumbass!
Nah. You know what? I think one thing that we can both agree on about the crypto market: no one is a crystal ball. No one is an oracle. This shit changes so much.
Oh yeah.
Think about where we were in 2017, where everyone thought fucking Verge was going to be like. It was going to be like the next Bitcoin, bro.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. All right. I used to own XBG.
Yeah.
Okay. The moment I heard who that partnership was, I sold it. And I made good money. I think I went 8X. They said partnership. And then I saw them come out with that site that's going to accept, payments. And I said, that's not a partnership. They're just accepting payments. And I sold it.
Yeah.
But,
smart man.
I got lucky on that one.
Smart man. Very smart.
That was a good ride. It's been downhill for him ever since.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I think I was looking at it the other day, bro. It was like 0.8 of a penny. You could buy one.
I remember when I read their white paper, I said, "Man, this thing is just this is the crypto right here." Because they were talking about sending payments through Twitter and social media, and I said, "Yeah, this is awesome." But another lesson: white papers don't mean anything. Anybody can type something up. Yeah.
Say it one more time, brother. So many people don't get that, man.
And I think reading the white papers are important. Don't get me wrong, but you have to, be able to smell the bullshit a little bit in them because, like I said, anybody can type anything on that page. Just making it really happen is the difficult part.
Agreed. I think once you've read enough white papers, you're able to flesh out the bullshit from the real shit.
Yeah, that is true.
You'll be able to do that. Like the last white paper I read, I'm in grad school now, so I really haven't had time to read anything other than like textbooks. But the last white paper I read was for XYO Network. And I found that to be interesting. It is a token that is based on proof of location. And they're marketing this to Maersk, the shipping magnate.
Yeah.
And shipping companies, UPS, FedEx, DHL. And I thought that was interesting, an interesting use of it. And then you see Foam come out. Foam's white paper is almost identical to XYO Network. And there are two others that I read that are almost identical to XYO Network. I said, man, you know what? They are really laying this shit on thick right now, bro. There's so much bullshit in the market right now, man. Look, man, I'm telling you, man, one of the best books I ever read was An Altcoin Trader's Handbook. I think that's the name of the book by Coin Trader Nick. That book, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think I heard of that book before. It sounds familiar.
Man. Bro, look, that book changed my life because the things in that book are so valid and relevant to trading in this space that I started doing simple things like keeping a trading diary, like understanding value, the difference between what people present as value and what is real value, and tips and techniques to trading and investing and the difference between trading and investing. you touched on something earlier that really resonated with me. You said you eliminate emotion from this. And that book talks about that, almost half a chapter about eliminating emotion and putting your emotion aside and setting tangible stops for trades and sticking to your trading plan so that you're profitable or successful most of the time. Even if it's only 51% of the time, if you're profitable 51% of the time, you're up. So I'm shilling his book because his book is awesome. I'm shilling his book. So of course I'll put the link on the website for that. But
put your referral link on there.
Yeah, you know. I wish he had a ref link, dude. I would put that on there, man. It would be lit.
Hey, but you're 100% right, man. I mean, and just you got to separate the emotion. But what was it called?
It's called the Altcoin Trader's Handbook.
Because I need to find me another book to read.
Yeah, look, man.
Altcoin Trader's Handbook.
I got the book. I couldn't put it down. The book is so good that I bought 2 books. One book I had marked up with highlighter and written notes in the margin. And then I have another book that I just read over and over and over again. That's how good the book is. If you were looking for a step-by-step how to get into cryptocurrency, how to trade, how not to get wrecked, that's the book that you need. You know, gotta get it.
I'll definitely check it out because I am looking for another crypto book. And have you ever read Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas Antonopoulos?
Of course.
That's a good one.
Of course. Yeah, man. He is just so profound, man, that I had to read that book maybe 3 or 4 times to just understand some of the concepts. Because even though I'm an IT professional, I don't know cryptography. I have no idea what that is. And so I was lost in most of the book the first 2 times I read it. And then as I started moving along in this kind of crypto journey and understanding things more, I would read the book and things would make sense to me, you know? You know what's crazy, though?
What's that?
He follows me, bro.
Oh, that's a good follow, man. he likes your cigars.
Yeah, man. I didn't want to post, guess who follows me, you know? But when I saw that he followed me, I was like, dude, maybe.
That's one to be proud of right there, man. That's the name in crypto.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff out there, some good books. I think I read one book of his. It was just his speeches at conferences. I think I learned more from that book than I did a whole year in crypto.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, he's that good, man. Yeah. He has a firm understanding of the content, and more importantly, he's able to break it down to a layman. The examples that he gives are so simple and basic that anyone can understand the concepts.
And that's the key to crypto, because some stuff just gets so complicated. I think that pushes a lot of new people out. It's just they can't understand it.
Yeah.
Because some people just make it overly complicated. They try to explain, you know, unspent transactions to someone who just bought Bitcoin. Like they're not going to understand that yet. They're going to take some time. So.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. Or UTXOs. They're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They just don't get it yet.
But yeah, man, definitely. Hey, did you hear about the story about Starbucks, Nordstrom's, and Whole Foods accepting Bitcoin now?
Yeah, I saw that. Is it through another company though?
Yeah, it's through another company. They set up these point of sale transaction devices that allow them to accept Bitcoin.
Yeah, I saw that. It's there's a ton of companies doing that, and it's going to be interesting to see which one really, you know, takes the cake on it. Because I know merchants, because a lot of people think PayPal could jump on this. Merchants hate PayPal. Merchants hate credit card companies, and I've done a lot of research on that and put some content out there on that because they charge so much in fees.
Yes,
I think every time someone swipes their card, it's 3 to 5%.
What it is it's 2.75% plus 30 cents per transaction.
And that's with the Visa MasterCard. I think Amex is even more.
It may be even more. But that's crazy, right?
Yeah. So now, merchants want to start accepting cryptos.
Imagine if you run a business that has extremely low margins.
Oh, you're screwed.
And you make your money from volume.
Yep.
You got to run a cash-only business.
And that's why a lot of those gas stations, they ever charge you like a 50-cent fee for using the card. That's why.
Exactly. For that very reason.
Yeah, I used to be a manager of a retail store, and we do, sometimes $30,000 deals, and people would want to pay with an Amex, and I used to have to just beg them, don't please use any other card. Pay me cash. I'll give you. We used to give them a discount. We'll cut 2% off if you pay with a Visa, just because that Amex was going to charge us, I think, like 5% of the total transactions. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, man.
I'll give you 3%, just pay cash.
Adoption is coming, my friend.
Oh, it's coming. It's on the way.
Yeah, it's coming. And I'm trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can now because I promised my wife Fiji. And I mean that shit, bro.
She's going to hold you accountable to that.
I'm holding me accountable. You understand? I'm holding me accountable to that. That 20-hour flight is coming, bro. I don't know when, but it is coming. I promise you.
I can't let my wife listen to this podcast. So where's our trip to Fiji?
You know what, man? I tell you what, I got a good one.
Yeah.
I got a good one, man.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that my wife loves to travel as much as I do. We get the same thrill from collecting passport stamps. And like I said earlier, man, you can't take it with you, bro. Life is someone very important to me before they passed away told me life is a series of decisions and experiences.
Amen, man.
Decisions and experiences. You make good decisions, you get good experiences. And you can't take it with you, bro.
Gotta die empty. Don't leave nothing in you.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to die $5 million. $5 million in debt, fam.
Well, before I run out of here, what's your thoughts on Bitcoin? Short term, long term? What are you thinking?
Honestly, I would like to see us return to all-time high from December 2017, January 2018. If we just get back to 10,000 this year, I think we will. I think that's easy, especially because I was just checking the charts. Matter of fact, I was looking at CoinStats just a minute ago, and bro, we were at like fucking $7,700 last time I checked. So
it's
nothing
climbing fast. Yeah,
it's climbing fast. My only fear is that FOMO is going to set in, and the whales are going to dump, and that will kind of hinder adoption. But I like to see us at maybe 12 to 15,000 by December. I think alts starting in October will start doing that dance they were doing in 2017.
So you think just a couple months it's going to be back near an all-time highs?
Oh, bro, look. I think in a couple months we'll see alts at 2, 3, 4 times where they are right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of what's bothering me right now, and so I think short-term price is going to pump big. And I think all that's consensus. You look every single year, consensus has been going on. Price skyrockets around this time because so many new people are getting in, and just FOMO hits everybody. So I think the next couple of weeks we're going to see some impressive gains, but I'm still curious about two things. Okay, 7,000 Bitcoin were stolen from Binance. That's gonna hit the market sometime. Okay, right. And then Tether, I think we kind of underpinned the significance of Tether not being liquid. I mean, how is it that a quarter of their funds are missing?
Agreed. So what is that? $850 million?
Yeah, they lost $850 million. So I think those two things are going to bring us back down. Probably the next month or so. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm probably going to put in some new stop losses, probably once this weekend kind of comes to an end, because I think the price is going to skyrocket. But I think those two things are going to bring us back down. But, end of the year, maybe what you were saying, 12, 15,000, I could see it going back up to that. Because I think once the bull market hits, it's just going to be, full on from there.
Right. Right. I I think about this a lot. Where I think we'll be. I think we're going to go through a serious accumulation phase. We're going to go through this period of up and down, where we have higher lows, up and down for some time, because we're going to start getting institutional investment in. But I don't think it's going to be the institutional investment that people think it is.
What do you think it's going to be?
I honestly think nation states are starting to get into it.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I think like countries are buying because they want to avoid sanctions.
What do you think, they're buying it over the counter or
OTC?
Yeah.
Or through shadow companies.
It's hard for me to think that countries around the world are not buying it. It's just, I can't foresee that being the case, including the United States.
I think countries are mining that shit.
Oh, there's a reason China banned Bitcoin mining.
Right.
It wasn't because it's bad for the environment. China does not give a damn about I mean, it's like one of the most polluted regions in the earth now.
Right. Everyone walks around with a mask on their face, bro. Everybody. Agreed. And India too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think behind the scenes, like you're saying, countries are accumulating, and once that hits the market, it's going to make it scarce. Scarcity is going to make the price go up.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Drew?
Yeah.
This was awesome, man.
Hey, man, I'm glad you had me on.
This was awesome. You are by far the most fun that I've had doing an interview to this point. I haven't done many. I've only got like maybe 8 or 9.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much.
We'll have to do it again. Anytime.
Most definitely. You can count on that, bro.
I enjoyed it, man.
Thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.